As the title says, I, a 32-year-old man, just found out my wife, a 27-year-old woman, is pregnant. Not very far along at all. We literally just got married in December. And while starting a family was always in our plans, we weren't even planning on trying for another year. So here I am with about 8 months worth of planning to make this happen. While I have a dad, he's just not a very present or good one, and hers has passed. Outside of my professional life, I don't have many male mentors I can turn to about this stuff, so here I am asking Reddit. What do I do now? What steps do I need to take? What steps should I take? How can I be the best husband possible these next 8 months? What can I do to make sure I'm the best dad possible when we get there? What books should I read? Why did I make so many jokes about not having to wear condoms now that we're married? Am I supposed to keep listening to Cats in the Cradle on repeat? What should I do first? Edit. I am absolutely overwhelmed by everyone's thoughtful responses. Trying to take everyone's advice and do my part around the house and rub her back, etc. It will take me some time, but I will absolutely be reading all of these comments over the next few days. I will do my best to reply in earnest to everyone besides the paternity test and go get a pack of cigarettes crowd. Seriously, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. Story 1. Hey, I'm not married or have a child, but thinking logically, here's what I recommend. 1. Check your insurance to see who fits where and what would be better to be under for childbirth. Also check coverage for appointments and checkups. Schedule appointments and checkups. Ask for materials at these checkups on how to prepare. Edit. Thanks for the suggestion to ensure the doctors who see your baby are in your network and not just the hospital. Someone also made a good point about free ultrasounds and recommends checking local services to begin this process of searching for care and knowledge on raising children. Story 2. Woman here, but I've had 5 babies. I can tell you what I needed. Go to all the prenatal appointments too. It's scary being a parent. It's terrifying growing that baby in your body. Be there for her every step of the way. Cut her all the slack. Pregnancy hormones are weird things. I cry at stupid commercials, then get ragefully furious that I was crying, then cry because I was so angry over something so dumb, and what kind of parent gets that angry? I was a mess. Some days I was blissful and loved everyone and everything. Other days, the world was out to get me and forget everyone. I would get incredibly amorous for weeks, then suddenly find intimacy repellent. My husband never knew what version of me would walk through the door. I was also fully aware that I was a basket case, which made me cry and get angry. There was nothing I could do about it. The first few months are the worst for morning sickness. If she gets that, then whatever she can eat and keep down, keep on hand all the time. The same goes for heartburn. The first time I had pregnancy-related heartburn, I honestly thought I was having a heart attack or something. I've never experienced anything like it. The last 2 months, especially the last month of pregnancy, are the worst. You're uncomfortable all the time. You can't move without something hurting you. Getting up and sitting down take ridiculous amounts of effort. Plus, the thrill of being pregnant has worn off. You are done with loaning your body out, and you are so impatient to meet the baby. Be empathetic. Do not underestimate just how exhausting growing a baby is. She might sleep a ton, but it's lousy sleep where she can never get comfortable. She might get tired doing housework that seems minuscule to you. She might struggle to manage things that seem pretty basic to you. I got winded trying to get my shoes on. Between lousy sleep, lungs that can't ever get enough air, and the physical demands of growing an entire human from scratch, I was tired. This got exponentially worse with each kid. I needed to nap. Everything felt exhausting. Shopping was a nightmare. Talk about the birth, take a class together, discuss what she wants or doesn't want. I have never met a woman who wasn't scared out of their mind about the actual birth through most of their first pregnancy. Be there. Listen to her fears. Don't try to give her a plan or tell her what to do. Just reassure her that you'll be there, she won't be alone, and that you know she'll handle the whole birth thing. It's not going to be as bad as she's imagined, I promise. My first birth went wrong fast, was super traumatic, and ended in a longer hospital stay. It was still better than I had worried and far less painful. When the time comes, be her rock. You don't have to do anything really, unless she has asked you to. Just hold her through contractions. Tell her how much you love her, that she's amazing and can do this, that you're there and won't go anywhere. After the baby arrives, that's when you really need to up your game. She's exhausted before that baby even arrives. Then there's the postpartum hormones, the nursing, the lack of sleep, the recovery after birth, the heavy bleeding, and the stomach that takes forever to return to normal. Help out as much as you can. You'll be tired too, but you're not recovering from growing a human for 9 months, delivering it, healing from that, and producing all the food for the newborn from your body. However tired you are, however little sleep you get, I promise she's worse. I started out with the baby in another room and within a couple of days had moved her into our bed to co-sleep because I could not handle it otherwise. My husband changed all the diapers at night so I didn't have to move. If feeding wasn't enough to get the baby back to sleep relatively quickly, he took her and walked around the house burping the baby and doing the zombie shuffle until she fell asleep again. I have to get up for work tomorrow is basically a swear at this point. She has to get up for work too. If you can take time off, Canadian here with awesome parental leave, do it. The playing field for exhaustion won't be level until you hit at least 9 months, maybe more if you have a particularly bad sleeper. I still had pain and was still actively healing 6 months after my first. Subsequent babies were better though. By 4 months, I felt more normal. Conversely, sometimes those post-baby hormones make her feel amazing. Then you'll need to make her slow down because, whether she feels it or not, her body is still recovering. After my third, I felt great. I went out, walked around, visited friends, did all the things. Then, at about 2 weeks postpartum, I developed a major uterine infection and needed to stay in bed on antibiotics for a week. My doctor was furious when she heard what I was doing. As for being a dad, it's a lot easier than you think and the hardest thing you'll ever do. You'll live and breathe for that kid from the first moment you see them. You'll second-guess every decision, every thought, every action. Am I being too hard? Not hard enough? Is this okay? Or am I making them too dependent on me? It never ends, you just get used to it. There's an easy formula though. Love them. Anything you do from a place of love will turn out okay, even if you do it wrong. Respect them, even when they're brand new. They're people with their own thoughts, ideas, opinions, and struggles. They won't always make sense to you. You won't always understand the way they do things. That's because they are a separate human being from you. They may have a lot in common with you. You may see bits of yourself in them, but they aren't you, won't process things the way you do, and shouldn't be expected to. They won't do what you want all the time. They'll want to do their own thing, be their own person. Even at the start. Retrospectively, I can clearly identify personality traits, behaviors, and identities in every single one of my kids within days of their birth, sometimes even before their birth. They are who they are. How you treat them determines how comfortable they are in their skin, what values they uphold, and how they will treat people in their lives. Accept them. Maybe you're an avid reader, and you have a kid who hates to read. Maybe you love camping, and you have a kid who hates the outdoors. You can expose your kid to things, ideas, experiences, etc., but you don't get to decide how they feel about those things. We all want a kid we can connect with who has similar interests and ideas, but kids are people, and they don't always mirror what you want. Find ways to connect with them on their turf. They don't like reading? Maybe you can bond over movie versions of books, or maybe they are into building things and you learn alongside them. One of my kids has a major passion for insects. Has since he was 4. He's 13 now and still as in love with bugs as ever. I never had any interest in insects, but learning about them alongside him, watching his eyes light up when he finds something special, wanting to be able to tell him about the interesting insect I found, and learning about his favorite bugs, where they live, how they grow, has been amazing and has opened my eyes to an entire interesting world that I would never have found on my own. One of the best things about having kids is getting to learn about and see all the interesting things they get excited about, watching them being the people they are. That's honestly, truthfully, about all there is that you need to worry about. What diapers, what toys, what they get exposed to or not, what baby classes they take or don't take, whether you breast or bottle feed, whether you can afford the things you want for them or not, whether you can do the things you want for them or not. None of that matters nearly as much as the fact that you love them, you respect them, and you accept them. No matter what the circumstances of life throw at them, Having that from you will get them through. Treat them how you'd want to be treated. Even when they're 1 day old. Make the hard choices on their behalf because you know it will benefit them down the road, not because you want a kid who fits certain ideas, or because it was how you were raised, or because it's what everyone tells you that you should do. If you do that, you'll be an amazing father, an amazing husband, and you'll have amazing kids, whoever they turn out to be. Congrats. Story 3. Congratulations. I thought I'd chime in from the perspective of a woman. I found out 3 weeks ago I'm pregnant with our first, so it's all still really new and fresh for us, too. My husband has been a huge help to me. Pregnancy symptoms can set in really quickly, so if you can plan to be a support to your wife, I'm sure she'll really appreciate it. Her moods might be all over the place. Make sure you're available to listen. She might cry over the smallest things, but you can still be there for her. If nausea makes it hard for her to eat, offer to get or make whatever food sounds decent to her. Ask her about the baby's milestones. Let her know that you're invested in how it's growing and what is happening to her. I highly recommend the Ovia pregnancy application. If she has scares or worries, help her research, talk her through it, and so on. Help keep the house tidy so she doesn't have to worry about it. Really, just being present and trying to make her life easier as her whole body changes will be a huge relief to your wife. My husband has done all of these things, even as I know he's worrying about all of his own personal, getting ready to be a dad things at the same time, and it has meant so much to me. It sounds to me like your head's in the right place and you'll do great. Best of luck. Edit to add. Another thing you can do to help is familiarize yourself with the foods, medications, and activities that are no longer safe for her. Some of them are kind of surprising. It helps to have 2 people aware of it. Story 4. Deep breath, friend. Honestly, take those books and use most of them as doorstops because that's what they are worth. No new parent knows what to do, yet most of us survived. Those books will fill your head with what others are telling you is best for your new family, with zero consideration for who you are. They will make you question your own heart. Early on, it's easy. Focus all of your attention on your wife because as this pregnancy starts to make her uncomfortable, you had better have a lot of brownie points saved up. You're likely going to spend those fast in that last month or 2 while finding yourself incapable of earning new ones. Don't worry too much about lacking a male mentor. Just know that you'll be a good one for your child. Talk to some of the guys and girls at work if you can and ask them about having their first child and the kind of things to expect. Talk to your friends. If you see parents at places like the supermarket that have young kids, strike up a conversation if you can. You will find that parents of young children are usually more than happy to talk about their kids. Just avoid the really frazzled-looking parents that you can tell were at their wits' end hours ago. Their advice might not be so happy. You got this. Good luck. Story 5. Single girl, no children here, but I can give you some pointers from complaints I hear from friends and family. Go to every doctor appointment with her. Even when she says you don't have to, she's not giving you permission not to go. It's almost like I dare you not to go. Don't coddle her. Pregnancy isn't a disease. The further she gets along, offer to rub her feet and her back. Once you find out her cravings, buy plenty of it and store it in the freezer. Talk to the baby while she's pregnant. Every day, say something to her belly. Help her pick out colors for the nursery. Saying it doesn't matter is not smart. She'll take it as the child doesn't matter. Put together the crib not when you feel like it, but the day she asks. If she has to put that crib together by herself, you will feel her wrath. Check into paternity leave with your job. If you don't have that option, save your vacation for when the baby comes. You can get paternity leave, but if your company won't pay you, start saving for the time you'll be away. When the baby is born, don't rely on your mother-in-law or your mom to help take care of the baby. They can help, but if they have to help too much, they can become possessive of the baby, and you'll never get him or her back. Don't read books, unless they are what to name your baby. The name is the most important thing. Everything else, each book is going to tell you something different. You'll just get confused. You are the father, and your child needs you just as much as they need their mom. You are not a babysitter. Never treat your wife like she's the only person who knows how to take care of a child. If she fusses at you because the child's pants don't match their shirt, or you didn't style the child's hair correctly, or asks why you fed them pizza and ice cream, nicely tell her to sit down and hush because those things are not going to bring a child's world crashing down. You have to get a birthing plan. Make them like you're on steroids. Map from your house to the hospital, your job to the hospital, her job to the hospital. Buy her a nice piece of luggage to pack for the hospital. That's more my opinion because I never understood people carrying a gym bag into a hospital. Were you all raised in similar households? Religions? That's a whole other topic. I wish you and your wife all the best. Story 6. Dude, I've got a 4-month-old little girl and you're in for a wild ride. It's a lot of fun. When you first hold your kid and smell them, you're going to feel a bond like the world's strongest magnet. Everyone is going to tell you about the lack of sleep. Forget those people. Just wait until your kid smiles at you for the first time. Then they'll laugh. Then they'll laugh when you blow on their tummy. It's honestly the best thing in the world. I spent a good 20 minutes yesterday just laughing back and forth with my daughter. They're going to grab your finger at some point and you're going to melt, just melt. The tiniest little hand won't even make it around your finger. The smell. The smell is better than you think, even with the poopy diapers. Congratulations to you and your family. I wish you all great health and happiness.